as many of you will remember, there is a petition and a matter going on before the Honorable Kohima High Court, where Reny Wilfred, who is a civil servant and was holding the position of Joint Secretary at IDAN Kohima, had filed this petition because against him, more than 10 women, young women working at IDAN, mostly contractual employees, have made serious complaints of a range of sexual offenses, sexual harassment of various kinds. They had approached the Nagaland State Commission for Women, and the Nagaland State Commission for Women had then informed the police about this kind of sexual harassment by a senior civil servant of young women working under him and subordinate to him. A thorough investigation was carried out by a special investigating team, and a charge sheet has since been filed before the concerned trial court. Against the first information report, and now also against the charge sheet, Reny Wilfred, who is presently under suspension following the FIR and charge sheet, Reny Wilfred filed a petition before the Kohima High Court asserting that the FIR complaint as well as the charge sheet against him should be quashed. This petition was filed in the first half of 2025. In that petition, he had, and this is very unusual, he had not only named the Nagaland State Women's Commission, but also impleaded as parties 3 of the members of the commission. As I said, this is unusual. Usually the body, the entity itself is made a party. Clearly, it was an attempt, a rather desperate attempt, to intimidate not only the women, but perhaps also the Women's Commission. I appear in Kohima High Court on behalf of the 3 members and the Nagaland Women's Commission. We have repeatedly been asking the court to hear the matter, and on each occasion that I have turned up, the other side's counsel has sought an adjournment. In my experience, this is usually done because you are hoping that the parties, as well as the lawyer, and as you know, I travel from Delhi for this matter, will get exhausted, will give up, will tire out. I think neither the Nagaland Women's Commission nor I are going to leave the matter simply because some adjournments are being sought. We have filed all our responses and replies. The charge sheet that now stands filed before the concerned trial court actually details the statements given by the women victims, which make out a categorical, clear case of sexual harassment, molestation, and so both the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita as well as the Prevention of Atrocities Scheduled Tribes Act has been invoked in the charge sheet. And today before the Honorable High Court, I pointed out that each time the matter is fixed for arguments on a petition that Reny Wilfred has filed, the counsel seeks adjournment. The court went through the order sheets and said that the pleadings are almost complete. And the next date that has been given, the court has been, the other side, the party has been clearly told that they have to ensure that they have an arguing counsel available. The next date for hearing before the High Court is 9th of December. It's also important to recall that on the last date for hearing, the court clarified in its order that there is no stay on the trial. The trial is now fixed for 26th of this month, and pursuant to that, it will be fixed for framing of charge. It's very important for all of us to know and this has been an experience across the country, that in cases like this, where there is a man sitting in a position of authority, there are women, many of whom are no longer employed, their contracts are over, they have not been given re-employment at IDAN. There are multiple ways in which women are deterred from speaking the truth and giving evidence and testimony in trial courts. This delay invariably favors the accused. Therefore, any machinations to drag and delay the matter will not be from our end. We will ensure that the matter moves forward in accordance with the spirit in which the laws have been made to ensure that women get justice, and therefore speedy trial is very necessary.
Petitioners, counsel are intentionally.
I am not implying any such thing. I'm only stating what the order sheet says. I am not here to judge anybody. I'm just saying that who stands to gain from the delay?
As in each time you appear.
The counsel is unavailable, although we inform them in advance that I am coming.
Okay. And how many times is that?
Well, I know twice I have appeared already here in person. The other times I have appeared online. It is their petition. They should be wishing to argue it.
As for now, what is the status of the case?
So it is at the trial is yet to commence. It is at the stage of framing of charge. Framing of charge is the first stage of a trial. Once the charges are framed, arguments will be addressed both by the learned public prosecutor, if there is a counsel on behalf of the women victims, as well as by the counsel for the accused. Following which the court will frame charges, and then the trial will commence.
Also, you have mentioned something about the charge sheet from the charge sheet as well. Is it okay to mention the sections?
Oh, yes, yes. The sections can certainly be mentioned. That's not a secret. The sections are the sections relating to sexual harassment, which is, and then there is a section relating to molestation. So that's section 74, section 75, and section 79 of the BNS. Section 79 deals with speaking or touching or any form of obscenity. And then you have section 3(1)(w) of the Prevention of Atrocities, Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Act, because all the women belong to the scheduled tribes, and the accused is not a member of any scheduled tribe. So that law too has been invoked.
And how many victims were listed?
Well, we have about 10 women who have given statements to the police in this regard. And their statements have also been recorded by the magistrate. So we do see from their evidence, as will then be said in the court, there is a pattern that emerges of the manner in which this misconduct and sexual harassment was conducted. And it is clearly an abuse of a position of power and authority. And I would imagine that the Nagaland state would be very keen to weed out any civil servant who is abusing his position of power and authority to sexually harass young women of Nagaland.
What message would you like to give to the women of Nagaland facing such harassments in workplace but fear coming out, especially from the people who are in power?
I think what we see across the country, it's not just peculiar to Nagaland, of course, my primary practice is in Delhi. What we see across the country is that yes, sexual harassment is an act of discrimination, and it will be committed by a person who has power. But we've also seen that women of all ages, and it's not just in an office, in many, many situations, in the university, women are coming together and fearlessly speaking, going to the police, going to the relevant authorities, because as you know, you can also have an internal complaints committee and I assume that they exist in Nagaland also in the relevant government offices, and that this is a wrong. And I think today what is very clear across the country is women are no longer willing to suffer the wrong silently. Women are standing up, complaining, speaking out. And I think the message actually comes from these young women, and all of them in solidarity and have come together to challenge this kind of abuse of power.